All right, y'all. Wednesday. Let me adjust this camera. I already started filming this podcast once. Got about 5 minutes in. My camera went haywire. Fell off the mount, started spinning. I had to start over. Got me so flummoxed, flustered, whatever you want to call it. However, today. Interest rates are up. Interest rates are down. Economy's good. Economy sucks. Building permits are at a record high that have been pulled. Building permits are at a record low. What's 2025 going to bring? It's going to bring a robust economy. The housing market's going to come back and gain 5 to 10%. The housing market's going to suck. We're assuming a 3% loss in price. Yada, yada, yada. The noise cannot be listened to. What I want to do today is talk about 5 points how in any economy, in any situation, your business can thrive as long as you just pay attention to some foundational tenets, focus on these, and focus on fail-proofing your business for the tough times. We all know it's not always the golden age. It can be feast or famine at times. When it rains, it pours, etc., etc. But there is always a demand for something. There's always a customer for you. Sometimes they're harder to find. Sometimes they're harder to get. But they're there. And the time to prepare yourself for that famine time or for the tougher times is not when it hits going to hyperdrive. It's actually when things are great, that's when you build your fortress. And it's very key because they're not always, Age of Empires, Golden Age, whatever. So how do we protect ourselves and how do we set ourselves up so that when times are a little slower, we can still thrive in our business, construction, real estate, whatever? Number one, you have to be adaptable. This is very key. I started my construction company slightly before 2008. It was a real gold rush at the time. Building was rampant. Track developments were everywhere. You could throw a rock and hit a customer that wanted you to do something because everyone was puffed up on equity they were pulling out of their homes at record numbers. Someone would buy a home for $500K and 3 months later turn around and pull out $150K in equity that they would then use to renovate their kitchen or do this or that, or there was a lot of free cash flow flowing around and people wanted to build homes. Smack 2008 hit and that all stopped with a vengeance. The piper came calling and said, all right, it's time. And a lot of companies went out of business. A lot of guys didn't know what to do. It really shifted things in the construction industry. But through 2008, 9, 10, 11, we stayed busy. And I think a big part of that was not getting caught too much in one lane and knowing that our wheelhouse could expand within our current core competency. And we could then take our core competency and shift it and be adaptable into different niches within our wheelhouse. So we're staying in our lane, but we're adapting to the new situation. And what that meant for us at the time, there were a lot of foreclosures, getting involved with the bank. The bank wanted you to go in and there were a lot of renovations that were happening because people at the time were getting foreclosed on. It was a terrible time. This is not like shedding any positive light on a bad time, but at least for our business, it shifted to, going into foreclosures, having to fix those up. There were people that swept in and still had cash at the time and they would want to renovate. And they would buy knowing they wanted to buy and hold and turn into rentals, or maybe they wanted to hold them to flip later, whatever it may be. So it turned a lot into 08, 09, 10, 11 until things started to really come back, like 11, 12, 13, into just getting connections with the right people. A lot of those connections were made through realtors because they have their pulse on the housing market. And other people we knew through the lending side that we're still doing work. So our work shifted from, larger scale remodel and kitchens and baths, what we were doing, and additions, to just like these kind of tedious go in, repair, remodel some, but it wasn't a high end remodel, it was a quick flip. Or renovating some tile, doing a little lipstick on a pig kind of deal, just making things nice and tight. But that was the pivot you had to make at the time because that's the work that existed. So a lot of guys my busy schedule and what I'm doing to check in with them when I didn't necessarily need it. You have to be authentic in the way you manage relationships and the way you manage your sales funnel. It can't just be, I'm slow, I need work, I'm calling to sell. People don't like that shit. They feel like a little disrespected, or they feel a little just underappreciated when it's like that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're such great buds, or we have this such great business relationship that times are slow and you call and see how I'm doing. Fuck that. No. You got to do it when you're busy. You got to do it when times are good. Keep the sales funnel full. Keep in touch with your contacts. Stay in front of your customers. Now, that's number 4. Number 5, and this kind of goes hand in hand with number 4. However, it's just this general point. You have to maintain like this networking and collaborative nature. It's really tough for the people who aren't networkers, and it doesn't mean every evening you have to be out at a happy hour connecting with people. But whatever your network is in your niche, in your business, in your town, you have to stay active in that culture. If it's you're a builder, maybe it's your local can't even talk right now, local builders association and meetings that happen once a month or once a quarter, or maybe it's the Chamber of Commerce, or maybe it's just a group of people that get together because they all own local businesses, or maybe it's realtors that you connect with, or maybe it's architects or designers that you work with, interior designers. Whoever that realm is that you network with, you need to take the time to have the coffee with those people. You need to make the phone call and talk to them. This goes strongly hand in hand with number 4 of keeping your sales funnel full. You need to keep your network vibrant. It's a living organism, the network, and you got to stay in, because people will forget about you quickly. And again, people will feel like you're disrespecting or shirking or not, or don't care about them if you're not constantly involved. So you got to maintain the relationships and be part of the culture when things are good. You want to be part of the conversation. You want to be involved in the events. You want to be someone whose name is known. And the way to do that is to always stay on top of your networking and stay in touch, involved in those groups. As much as everyone hates to do it, they do serve a purpose. So, being there, being present, being active is key. Again, all when times are good. That is the whole point of this thing. When times are good is when you act like times are going to get bad. And that's how when times get bad, you are fine. That's my list. Check it twice. You'll find out it's not naughty, it's nice. I'm giving Santa references. Bang. As I live and breathe sticky note life. Number 1. How do you protect your business from the slow times? Be adaptable when times do slow down. If you have to pivot. Don't be scared of it. Pivot within your wheelhouse to something. There will be a niche that needs to be filled and a demand that needs to be serviced. 2, have strong financial management in the good times so you don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself that you're in a high margin business and somehow you're always going to just have excess cash flows and an abundance. Know your numbers. Know what you're doing. Number 3, always focus on the customer first. The customer's always right in every scenario. Yes, you can butt heads with customers. Yes, some customers are a huge pain in the ass, but 80-20, you're going to have it. It's always going to happen. You're going to have to figure out how to suck it up and serve your customers right. Or guess what? They'll go to somebody else because that's their prerogative and they can do that. They don't have to go to you. No one has to go to you. Yeah, I could rant on that for days. Number 4, go hard in the paint on sales. Sales, keeping the sales funnel full. When times are good. Should I say when times are good every single time I read one of these? Because every one of these is in relation to doing them when times are good. Damn it. And number 5, network and collaborate. Stay involved with your local organizations or whatever it is that you're involved with, or whatever groups that service your industry. Stay involved. Know what's going on. Be in the conversation. Wednesday, everybody. That's my Wisdom Wednesday. Drop in. All right. Thank you.